If you're building your business and you're running, part of the mindset that we have in running an organization is having our computers, our printers, our technology. What software tools and applications are we going to be using? If we're not prepared and we haven't planned for those things, you're going to run into hurdles. Doesn't matter whether you work from home or you work in an office or you work for a company that has a hybrid. The infrastructure to your business is the key to success. Hello and welcome to Dollars and Data, technology for business owners to consider and think about what you're going to be doing with your business and how to grow your business. Today, we're going to talk about really the health of your business, infrastructure, IT, but it's really so that you can kind of build on top of what that infrastructure is and not IT. Don't look at it from a perspective of putting a plan together and task list together. Don't forget about your IT. And that's kind of the point and the mission behind this podcast today, because I think it's a very important issue that most people forget about. And over the last 15, 20 years, I really do a lot of consulting and discussions, and it starts with you as the business owner, not really understanding what that infrastructure is. How can you grow your business? And these are questions you should be asking yourself. How do I grow my business? How do I protect my business? How do I make sure my computers are running properly so that I can do marketing, so that I can do accounting, so I can do finance? These are really important issues, especially going into the future. So with that being said, today's key topics that I want to talk about, there's really two, but there's multiple topics with regards to assessing the health of your business. Accounting and business health, we're not going to talk about that today. That's a different episode. Number two is evaluating the infrastructure and technology. That's the one we're going to talk about. And really, everything else that you're doing with your company starts with the infrastructure and the technology. And number three, and we're not talking about this one, but I want to bring it up. It's optimizing your personnel and the people to make sure that they have the right tools and technologies for you to be efficient and productive in your business. These are very key points. And number four, which is not what we're going to talk about today, but I want to bring it up, it's streamlining your processes internally, your internal controls. Think about all of these things that we're talking about has to do with assessing your business for growth. And last but not least is planning for the future growth. So those are the two topics that we're going to talk about today. It's going to be the evaluating the infrastructure and your IT. I know that sounds like it's boring, and for most business owners, it is boring, but it's a necessary conversation that you need to have internal or with an ISP or an IT networking engineer or a business analyst or a business technology advisor. And we've talked about those episodes in the past. And whether you do it internally or not, you need to have the processes, and you need to be thinking about all five of these topics in order to plan for the future. So let's get started. And I want to start out by just talking about what is the IT infrastructure. You as a business owner, think about this. If you're building your business and you're running, part of the mindset that we have in running an organization is having our computers, our printers, our technology. What software tools and applications are we going to be using? If we're not prepared and we haven't planned for those things, you're going to run into hurdles. Doesn't matter whether you work from home or you work in an office or you work for a company that has a hybrid. The infrastructure to your business is the key to success. Listen, I want to share some stories with you with regards to how the infrastructure can affect whether you grow or not. And that's an important topic. And this whole episode is really focused around assessing your business model or finding the help that you need. And whether you do it or a business technology advisor comes in and looks at your infrastructure or your technology, one way or the other, you have to put this into your planning for your business. And it depends on the size of your business. And yes, technology is growing. Yes, technology is changing. It's constantly, and it's not going to stop changing. And that's even more important to recognize that this is really the first and foremost after you have a business idea or a business that's operating. This needs to become one of the most important things business owners consider is what is the infrastructure? What is their technology? And for those of you, when I say infrastructure in my episodes, infrastructure really is the foundation of all things technology, right? I mean, where we used to be and where we are today, it's changed considerably over the last 20 years. It's evolved, and it's going to evolve even faster. So think about the tools that you don't have to change. And then once you understand the tools that you don't have to change, then it's a decision in your assessment. Do I want to add on additional technologies to advance or increase or create opportunities for the business by using tools that are going to create quicker results from the business operation? Listen, business is fun. Creating opportunities obviously is fun. And I just want to say this again. It's super important for business owners, executives, whether you know it or not. You need to be looking at it because it is going to have a critical error. It's going to create failure in your company at some point, somewhere in your organization if it's not reviewed regularly. So you've heard me say in previous episodes about or discussing MSPs, a managed service provider. What a managed service provider really is they're kind of what we've known is when you pick up the phone or go on the internet and you search for an IT networking technology guy. So I just want to make sure you understand the definition of what an IT network or an MSP is. But what is very difficult to find is a business advisor that understands technology. So if you're really good at what you do as a business and you're not very good or really don't have a good understanding of the IT and the infrastructure or a vision, you have the vision, but you're not sure how to use the technology to get there, I highly recommend getting an assessment done for your business so that they can help build that plan or at least review what is in your organization or in your home today. Listen, the cost is very inexpensive. I mean, it can range anywhere between $500 and $5,000 for an assessment of your business. And it comes with a report, comes with details. It gives you basically a business report card, if you will. And you can use that report card to make decisions that's going to help you, or you decide whether you're okay with it. I have the funds today. It lets you prepare where you can allocate those funds to the technology infrastructure. So I want to share with you today some of the things with regards to just evaluating your business. And I use this in my own business. Smart cities, smart stadiums, they're so complicated. You cannot just walk in and have a conversation. Listen, I love learning about businesses. I enjoy building relationships with companies and owners and executives and talking about their business. There's nothing more that puts a smile on a business owner's face than to talk about his business. So from the days of when I worked in, Dun & Bradstreet and interviewing businesses as an analyst, it was really the discovery process that really you have to make it fun, make it enjoyable, talking about your business. So a good business advisor, technology advisor to you, should you not want to do your own technology infrastructure. Maybe you're a techie and you like it and you want to get in there and really dive deep into your business. But, once I start talking and sharing some of the stories of what it takes to build an assessment, you're going to get a different idea. And I'm just going to kind of give you some things to think about when you're doing an assessment in your business. Number one is, what is the connectivity? Connectivity is a very important assessment. This is all things internet, all things technology are running on the bandwidth, which means you call one of the cable companies and you call them and you get, a speed. You don't think much about it. We think pretty much that connectivity is what runs our business today. Our cell phones run our business today. The computers, which is connected to the internet, runs our business today. So understanding your speed. Listen, it may cost you $150 for a connection to have Wi-Fi in your home that includes cable, and it also includes internet connection. But listen, $50 to go from 250 megs to a gig of speed. Those are technical terms, but go for the most speed that you can, because all of us have had issues with sitting somewhere, and we used to get the little spinning wheel on our phone when we're waiting for our phones to connect. It drove us nuts because we were not able to connect and get information as quickly as we need. So in order to avoid that, you really need to make sure your connectivity is reviewed and looked at. Costs are coming down. The price of speed and your connectivity with a cable or a carrier that's offering, prices are always coming down. And number two, they've got competitive things or competitive pricing models, which you should be looking at. Most of the time I see business owners forgetting to look at their connectivity into their office, when you can have your bookkeeper, your accountant, someone in your office just do a check with the carriers from time to time. Same with your cellular. So connectivity for a smart stadium or for a city can be in the thousands and thousands of dollars. For your home or your business, I mean, you're looking at a couple of $100 for getting as much bandwidth. And you can go from cable, you can go to fiber. And listen, I know this is technical, but it's very important, because all things that you want to do inside your business, it's all based on connecting to the internet in some fashion. So let's make sure that number one. So one of the things that I do with, whether it be a stadium or a university or a small business, and even my staff, it's getting the phone bill and letting us review it. We're experts at that. Maybe you're not an IT or a telephony guy. That's what they call it in the telecom world. So I don't want to harp too much more on the points, because there's a lot of pieces that you need to consider, with regards to an assessment if you're doing your own assessment. What I'm hoping to help you with is, when you do talk to an IT advisor or a business advisor, that they are asking that question. Number one is, what is your connectivity? And number two is, what network is running your business internal? What we do know is, when we have problems in our office, we want to call an IT guy, or we ask someone that is our tech guru in our office that can fix things if they're broken when it comes to your network. Shame on you. You shouldn't be doing that. You should really, it's inexpensive to go and hire I called it an MSP earlier, service provider that manages networks. Today, we can do that remotely here in Irvine, California. I mean, we operate and manage stadiums and universities and businesses around the country. Prior to COVID, we had offices in Europe and in Mexico. So having the IT guys being remote, it's actually more affordable to use an IT networking company that has a business and technology advisor, because they're going to keep you, they're going to future-proof your business so that there's no problems. So what does that network look like? That could be switches. And I'm going to talk some tech things here, so I don't want you to think about it. That's our job. You call us and we'll tell you what you have if you don't know. We're happy to visit, or you can even give us a camera. We can do a live direct feed, if you will, using Zoom or whatever on our phones, and we can review it with you. The networking system, your cables, your switches, are you completely wireless in your office? Are you connected by cables? Those are things that you need to look at. Previous office that I had, we didn't have. I wanted to run the business just like what I'm telling you and sharing with the owners and businesses and universities. You don't need to have a cable connecting your computers today. The reason for that is everything has the ability to go in and connect to an internet. As long as you've got fast speeds, you can run your entire, depending on the size of your business now, school or someone like that, where they've got thousands of people, universities, you got students, you've got personnel, you've got a lot of people that are connecting to it. But there's still certain areas within your organization that could be totally remote and wireless. Why is that kind of important, or why was it important to me? If I needed to pick a whole team up and move them to a different area, or pick it up if I knew that it was only temporary, as long as they were able to have fast connectivity through wireless in the office, I used it because I was expanding our office and I didn't really want to, and I was testing it. And I didn't want to take weeks or months to go get into a new office and then wait on the carriers and the cable and all of the things that it takes for the infrastructure to be complete before I could put a team in. What I realized in this test that I did, we had probably 10 or 15 people in the office, and we literally, every single person, we had a creative team, we had an IT team, we had an administrative team, all working with their computers connected wirelessly. It worked. So once we tested it, then we can share this with the business owners that you can do the same thing too. And it goes back to the very first thing that I was talking about, was the connectivity. Making sure your network is set up, making sure that you have things in place and access points or Wi-Fi devices. So now those are components that make it easy for you to connect to the internet so that you can be productive and you can run your operation of your business and turn things on very quickly. So today versus 20 years ago, today you can set up an office in a few days. You can start your business within a few days because of the capabilities that we have. So the technology that you have, so networking, connectivity, what is they call it a stack, but it's routers and switches, all those boring things. If you know how and what those things are, cool. If someone in your office can tell you what those things are and what it does, they do become outdated from time to time. So when we go into a stadium, one of the things is connectivity. We want to look at their network, whether it's physical or it's in the cloud. We want to really understand how those things are connected. And the reason for that is because, when you're doing an assessment, I'm thinking about it. It may not be a conversation that I'm having with you during the assessment meeting. I'm in the back of my mind, I'm thinking of cybersecurity. I'm thinking of how am I securing my network? Is it protected? So we'll get to that in a moment. So what are some of the other things that we look for? And recently we just, I was in Kansas City, and one of the things is looking at their connectivity. So things that connect to my network, those are questions that you would be asking yourself. How many TVs, if you have TVs in your office? How many computers? How many printers? How many devices do you have? In a stadium, and we put IPTV systems in stadiums, so we need to know how many TVs. So you may not be thinking too much about TVs, but there's 3,000 TVs. How do you keep up with those? Have you done an assessment? So if you're a stadium or you're a city, you need to know your numbers of your TVs, or how many computers, or how many workstations that you have. So all the devices need to be counted, and those are things that are going to be updated because that creates some critical issues down the road. Number 4, you're really looking at your Wi-Fi devices. How many Wi-Fi devices do I have in my office, or do I have any at all? If you don't have any, you should consider it, because those devices, They don't have to be plugged into the ceiling. They can be standalone in your office and connected to your server, and there's repeaters and all this other tech stuff. And this gets to the point, but the assessment is asking questions to, for me, I'm asking questions to the business owner, their connectivity, what is their network and how is it set up? What's their computer network? What's their Wi-Fi network? Then I'm asking what are the devices that are connected to it? And then I segment those particular devices by TVs, by computers, by laptops, by pads, computer tablets, right? So you need to count all those things. And the assessment, then it goes into not just your hardware or your technology. And as we really explore the opportunities into the future, an assessment would be if you're a retail or you're a consumer, such as a stadium that we work on, or a city for that matter. And when we work with a city, it may be just a single street. To go to LA, it's 3rd Street Promenade. Louisville, it's 4th Street. And they have 15 to 20 million people a year that's connecting to these devices. So part of the assessment is really understanding your business from a customer perspective. And this is a segue from not just cables and network. It's very important. And a lot of business owners are missing this part of the assessment. And it is if it's internal, how many people are connecting, right? How many people are connecting? This is kind of standard IT networking stuff. The part that is changing is because everything now is media. So I'm going to ask you questions with regards to how many customers per day, how many customers per week, how many days a week are you open? These are just parts of the assessment that become critical because now you're not only using your computer network for connecting devices for your staff to do the productivity work that they're supposed to be doing or selling to customers, et cetera. And it's changed. The stadium, especially after COVID, everything became touchless. How do we communicate with that company or that person or that group of people that's coming into our facilities? And you as a business owner really are not thinking about that as being part of your infrastructure or your technology, but it is so much more than what most businesses even think about it. If you own a retail store, think about Wi-Fi reaching out and grabbing those customers. And those are things that we'll put back in. We will provide you with we call it a client brief or just a review, a health report on your business. And we're looking at, or at least I look at it, and this is what I'm trying to train our staff to do, is to look at the external components and how that can be affected so that you can communicate more, faster, quicker with your customers. And those are using the tools that you already have, whether you have TV or Wi-Fi, et cetera. So asking those questions, how many days a week are you open? The stadium, how many events do you have at your stadium? What's the period of those games? Is it just once a week? Is it 7 days a week? We're collecting those things for your business. For me, those bullet points are going to help me understand how you can create additional, it's ways for you to monetize your business, to be honest with you. So there's another segment within business assessments today that's not even been accounted for. And I've been doing this for almost 10 years, is really trying to understand who's around your store, who's in your store, who's in your stadium, who's in the parking lot, what is the tailgate? When does the tailgate party start? The more information that I understand beyond your business, but understanding your customer and understanding the interactions with your venue. And a venue can be anything from a small retail store all the way up to a stadium or even a city. Cities made up of hundreds and hundreds of venues. So assessing the business, you start looking at the ecosystem around your business. This is technology. This is the types of things that we can come back and refer you to different types of applications. And I want to just kind of give you a couple of stories on how You may have TVs, whether it be a hospital, maybe it's just a lawyer's office, it could be a pizza, it could be any kind of retail, and you've got one or two TVs, or maybe you don't. I would recommend using your TVs as a touchless device to communicate your message. So this would be part of the results that would come back in a health report on your business, and some options and some ideas that you haven't thought about that could help expand your business. Imagine having a TV or a digital sign that's in your business and what that could do when you're not there, or maybe it's a clear message. So that technology, the TV that you currently have, they're software technologies. So this assessment gives a business advisor that understands technology a real value to you as a business owner. We look at assessments as a critical component. So if you're not doing assessments on your business, you should be. And it doesn't take long. I mean, if depending on the size of your business, I mean, a stadium, I mean, you got 3,000 TVs, you've got 1,500 access points, you've got hundreds of computer desks and monitors and things like that. So understanding what that is, put a date when you purchased it, keep up with it. So if you do use a third-party technology advisor, then you've got a framework to start with. And he's going to ask you the questions. When did you buy that TV? When did you buy those access points? When did you install that network? So this is a very important foundation of your business. When most companies come in, they go in, they buy everything that they need, and then they go run their business and forget about their infrastructure. Another critical component is your cybersecurity as part of the assessment. We're going to look at and evaluate and dig kind of into your computer network to see where there's vulnerabilities. Those particular vulnerabilities, listen, until it happens, doesn't bother you. But when it happens, it's going to shock the hell out of you because you don't want it to happen. And if you don't think it's possible for a small business to be attacked by cybersecurity, you're wrong. Today, in our office, we can see a global map of people trying to hack businesses around the world. It looks like a CIA kind of monitor where you're kind of seeing everything kind of bounce back and forth and people trying to get it in and find vulnerabilities into their network. Do your own assessment internally, understand all the hardware, the bells and whistles with regards to connectivity in your hardware. But then you start looking at, the software applications that's protecting this ecosystem that you've spent so much money on, and how many hours have you spent thinking and growing and building your business. The point of this assessment is to really give you a peace of mind. Getting a business advisor or a technology advisor, like I said, they're inexpensive, man. I mean, they're only, less than $5,000 for a small business. I mean, it could be $500. I mean, in some cases, they do a free assessment. If somebody calls and offers your business a free assessment, take it. I know we offer pretty much a free assessment to come in and look at your business. Take advantage of that. And at least get to know the person. If you don't like them, find another person to go to. I highly recommend, if you're interested in, give me a call, give us a call. We'll sit down and take a look at it. And, there's guidelines and things that we can help you with. But the most important thing is peace of mind. And get that assessment, get a business assessment, get a checkup on your business from technology and infrastructure. I can't tell you, it's the most important thing you can do for yourself and for your business. You've spent way too much time, too much money not to understand your business. Listen, I've grown companies, built companies, and I've been there. I've done that. I'm too busy. I've got more things to do. I've got other stuff to work on, and a year goes by. Don't let that happen. Get a business assessment. You can give us a call at 1-800-777-3562 and see what our assessment plans are for your business, your technology. I think it's very important. And last but not least, the business assessment gives you a very clear path to the future. And it gives you a chance to talk to an advisor or talk to your team with regards to where you want to go and do you have the right infrastructure. Make that part of your operations meetings. Most of your bigger companies have an IT department and they run their IT business for you. And that's why you have IT guys. But as a business owner, an executive, an entrepreneur, the thing that I want us to do is don't depend on the IT guys. Have them to provide you with a report. Have them to provide you with the details. You still need to know, just like you know how much money's in your bank account, you still need to know the age of your equipment, the vulnerabilities in your network, and you need to know when is it time to upgrade and prepare for that. Listen, I wish you all the success in the world, and I highly recommend getting a business assessment for your business. It will only help you feel better. Number two, it will help you plan. Thank you for joining this episode. I hope you found some of the ideas or opportunities for you to evaluate your technology, evaluate some new ideas about thinking or how you think about your infrastructure and your technology. Listen, I can go into greater detail, and listen, just go get a report, go get an assessment done on your technology and infrastructure. I promise you it's going to be worth it. At least you get an understanding. Thank you. Learning about your business through data and dollars. Please share with me what you would like to know more in detail, or if you would like for me to be more detailed about some of the subjects or some of the topics that I've talked about. I will narrow some of the conversations. I'm just kind of giving everyone a broad stroke right now to share the importance that it is with me and how I feel about technology and infrastructure and the health of my business. And I feel like that there's, a missing component from a lot of business owners that are out there, whether you have an IT company or not. Listen, be sure and check out this episode and some of the other episodes that have to do with business and technology. There's really pieces and parts of this that will help you. Have a fantastic day. You can reach me at cole@greenzebra.net. Send me an email, check out our videos, send a link, schedule an appointment to speak with us. Listen, the foundation of your business is your infrastructure and your technology. All these other things we talk about are exciting, but this is a critical component. It is the health of your business. I wish you the best. God bless. Until the next episode, and there are going to be some good ones coming. Have a great day. Thank you.